Hello, welcome to today's video, which is 10 tips to transform your art in 2026. Because if you've ever kind of looked at your paintings and maybe thought, oh, I feel so embarrassed to share this, or you feel disappointed with what you've made, or perhaps you're thinking, why can't I make what is in my head, my idea, on the canvas? Why is it not quite working? What am I missing here? If you kind of felt or thought any of these things, first of all, don't worry, you're not alone. It's a very normal part of the process. But secondly of all, I'm going to be sharing these really important 10 things that is just going to skyrocket your art for this year. So let's get into them. Now, tip 1. Treat every painting like an experiment. Now, I want you to take on the role of kind of like a scientist. So rather than putting so much pressure on every painting to make a masterpiece, I kind of want you to think about playful experimentation and really just trying out ideas and having this flow of just trying it out, literally like an experiment. Now, what that does, not only does it take the pressure off of having to create something good or creating a masterpiece. What it actually does is when something goes wrong, which ultimately during the artist process it probably will, really can help us to take that and not internalize that mistake and think, oh, you know, I'm not an artist, I don't have any talent. But actually what it does, it takes us into the problem solving part of the brain where we're like, okay, what went wrong? Why isn't that working? What can I do next time to connect those dots and make that better? And so when we take on this role of a scientist, it really is the key to unlocking growth as an artist. Okay, so tip number 2 is to use supplies that you feel free to waste. Now, I just want to caveat that. I am not saying that we want to waste supplies, but having supplies that you feel okay wasting means that when you paint something and it didn't work out how you want, you don't feel that crushing disappointment of, oh, I've used all my supplies on this. Because what that does, when we have maybe very expensive supplies or supplies that we somehow feel scared to use, it can take away that playfulness, that experimentation. It adds so much pressure. And really, that blocks creative freedom, which will block growth and creating something that comes really from the heart in an authentic way. So having supplies that you just feel free to play with, free to use, can really unlock that playful element to creative expression. Now, tip number 3 is to speak to our fears. Now, very often, I know this from my own journey, when I maybe was painting something and I didn't really like it, a lot of like inner thoughts would come up. Thoughts like, I'm not really an artist. Who am I to be even trying to do this? I can't show anyone this. It's embarrassing. I've got no natural talent. All of these sorts of things can kind of come up inside us. And also, please do share yours in the comments if you feel like you want to or you can. Because I think a lot of us think that this is not a normal part of the process. And actually, I don't know a single artist that has not dealt with these thoughts. So drop in the comment section maybe one of the most recurring thoughts that kind of come up for you. And hopefully we can scroll through them and see that we are not alone in any of this. But really the thought is that when we listen to those thoughts, we can actually start to hear the fear deep within them. So maybe thinking, I'm not a real artist. What are we thinking when we think that? Like, where's that story coming from? Has it come from something in our past? Maybe a teacher telling us something about our artwork. Maybe a parent who made like a little comment about our artwork and we really internalized it and made it part of our story. Now, listening to those fears and journaling about them can really help let them go. Help release them, not as truth, but just as a story that we can let go of. And that really is about letting go of some of those things that are blocking your growth. That's a really important one. Now, tip 4 is to plan your paintings. Now, I know that sounds so boring because we just want to dive straight into the canvas and get those paints and colours on there, right? But planning your painting is one of the things that made the most impact as my growth as an artist. Now, when I say plan, I don't necessarily mean, you know, a boring plan. For example, this painting behind me, this was the plan. Okay, so I'm talking about colour palettes, just little ideas. It can just be squiggles. It doesn't have to be, you know, a very sheets of text or anything like that. It's not what a plan is. I'm speaking about a creative expression session where we can plan out some of those ideas. Now, if you want help with kind of how to do this and a lot more direction, I've got a little exciting treat for you, a bonus gift for staying this long into the video. Now, if you download the link in the description box and in the comment section, you'll get the Painter's Guide. This is a little book that I wrote, a little ebook, and it really gives you the steps that you need to kind of break down your ideas and put them into a painting. Now that also comes with the concept to canvas worksheet, and this comes with a video. So every single step of the planning journey, you'll get a video delivered to your inbox to help you guide through this sort of process to make sure that your painting is a success. Because I have found through trial and error and many mistakes that really every mistake in a painting has boiled down to where something is not aligned from the idea in my mind to how that's going to be a physical representation in like the real way. So to take, basically what I mean is take an idea and make it into a painting. This is the step that many people miss and that I missed for so long, and that's why I'm super passionate about kind of helping you guide through that process. So I'll pop the link to that in the description box. Hope you find it helpful. Tip number 5 is to stop trying to find your style and let those ideas and experimentation find it for you. Really, finding our style is not about deciding what to paint or deciding who you're going to be as an artist. It's more about painting what you genuinely love, what genuinely lights you up inside. Now I'm going to give you a little tip. A good place to start with this is to paint something for your own wall in your house. Now why that's so good is, generally the things that we put on our walls are things that we connect to emotionally and that people can see and kind of create our identity around that, and who we are, what lights us up inside, what we're interested in. So to paint something for your wall, for your own wall, maybe a living room, something where a place where people will be in and out, then that's a great place to start in finding your style. Tip number 6 is to focus in on one thing, maybe one thing per week, even one thing per month. So rather than trying to tackle a huge painting and go from feeling art block straight into having to paint a masterpiece, instead take your sketchbook and just dedicate a page to learning one small specific skill. I feel really passionate about this method. This was how I made the most amount of progress in a really short amount of time, is this hyperfixation on these small skills. And this is the method that I teach in Supercharge Your Art and also in Learn to Paint with Confidence, really, through these small exercises that are really going to push and expand you in specific skills. That's a tongue twister. So if you're interested in joining Supercharge Your Art, which is a 14-day sketchbook experience to really supercharge your art, then I'll drop the link to that in the comment section as well. It'd be great to have you join us. Tip number 7 is to disconnect your self-worth and who you are as an artist from what you make. Now this is a huge one, and this was something that really blocked me for a long time in my art journey, is when I was kind of starting to learn to paint and I'd create a painting that didn't look like what I wanted it to look like, or I was embarrassed about it, just didn't like it, felt that it looked bad. What happened was I internalized that about who I am, about who I'm not, about my skills as an artist, or not being an artist, basically, feeling like a fraud, that sort of thing. Now, what that does is it actually makes us feel really resistant to painting again the next time, because we don't want to feel all those shameful feelings about ourselves. So what it does is it makes us retreat from painting at all. And that's really sad. It's a really, really sad thing. And I think that it happens to probably most of us. So when we disconnect ourselves to what we make, and again, it's kind of taken on that role of a scientist, that this doesn't mean anything about me as a person. It just means that there's something missing in this painting. And when we can kind of adapt to that way of thinking, it really just gives us free rein to paint when we want, how we want, in whatever style we want, and it's more fun. Tip number 8 is to make your sketchbook a safe place. We don't want our sketchbooks to feel like a gallery. I mean, if you look at my sketchbook, it's mostly just, little messy drawings. There's the odd painting in there that I've done for YouTube, but a lot of it is just real kind of messy sketches. And when we do that, it really creates a little safe space for us to just play and unleash ideas, because we don't want to just be doing that on canvas. We want our sketchbooks to be this place that no one really sees, and they don't have to look like they belong in a gallery. That's not the point of a sketchbook. Now, tip number 9 is to delve into the 5 core skills of painting. Now, if you're not sure what those 5 core skills are or are about, I'll link a YouTube video in the description box that goes more in detail about these. But really what it is, it goes back to hyper focusing not just on a masterpiece and creating a beautiful painting, but separating painting into specific ingredients that our painting needs. Things like colour, brushstrokes, composition. And what we do when we kind of hyper focus on these ingredients and make sure we have those ingredients in the first place and add them into a recipe for a painting, this is what makes painting feel more fun, a lot easier, and you get a better painting from it as well. So really delving deep into these 5 core skills, which is what we cover in Supercharge Your Art, will really be kind of just, a gateway to skyrocketing your paintings and seeing a lot of progress in a fast amount of time. And tip number 10 is to play. Sometimes we can take art so seriously, especially when we see other artists online, maybe making a business out of it, selling their art, and we can kind of like put ourselves in this little box of like having to paint only in a certain way or only paint specific things, and we kind of want it to look like we are an artist rather than actually just being an artist. So I want you to focus in on that being. I want you to adopt that childlike energy around creation. So when you kind of imagine maybe a 4-year-old kind of grabbing pencils and just going for it on a piece of paper, that's the kind of energy I want you to adopt for your next painting session. So I really hope that you enjoyed these tips. A little bit more of just a chatty video, but these are some of the things that I felt have made the biggest difference in my own art journey. And I'm seeing when people kind of plug in these sort of things, this is when things just get really clear for them on their own art journey and they just whoosh to the stars. So don't forget to download the Painter's Guide and the Concept to Canvas worksheet if you want a bit more guidance. They are really amazing for that first step of how to take an idea that you have, or maybe a reference photo, and turn it into a beautiful painting that you're proud of. So I'll pop the link to that below. Thanks so much for spending time with me and chilling with me today, and wishing you lots of inspiration. Bye!